These are the 7 levels of Fallout Superweapons. Level 1 Desperation Weapons. The junk jet was built by ArcJet Systems engineers in 2075. Terminal entry from their facility, Project Variable Mass Propulsion Demonstration. It wasn't designed as a weapon. It was a sales pitch. The engineers wanted to prove their propulsion technology could accelerate any object to lethal velocity, teddy bears, coffee cups, whatever you loaded into it. The prototype sat in storage for 2 years. When the resource wars intensified and ArcJet desperately needed military contracts, they rebranded it as Adaptive Ammunition Technology. They pitched it to the military as tactical innovation. Procurement Office Terminal Fort Strong, August 2077, reviewed ArcJet submission. Assessment: this is a solution looking for a problem. Contract denied. ArcJet went bankrupt 3 months later. The junk jet prototype is still sitting in their facility 200 years after the company dissolved, guarded by synths and forgotten by history. Syringer came from Vault-Tec's Pharmaceutical Weapons Division in 2076. Terminal entry: chemical delivery system for battlefield debilitation via injection through armor. Field testing showed it made super mutants angrier, not weaker. Pre-war soldiers reported shooting enemies with syringes and watching them tear the weapons out and keep attacking. Engineers Personal Log Vault-Tec September 2077, we're building toys while the world ends. None of this will save anyone, but the contract pays, so we keep working. These weapons exist because companies were scrambling for relevance during the collapse. They built desperation weapons that never worked because they were never serious. Desperation weapons failed because they weren't serious. Level 2 is what happens when engineers stop joking and start building bombs. Level 2 Tactical Nuclear Weapons. The Fat Man was developed at Fort Strong Weapons Division in Boston. Project codename M42, officially designated Tactical Nuclear Catapult. Lead engineer David Chen. Development began March 2076. Chen's terminal log March 15, 2076. Command wants tactical nuclear solutions for urban warfare. I told them miniaturizing atomic weapons for shoulder-mounted deployment is insane. They approved my budget anyway, $47 million. The first prototype test happened at Fort Strong Firing Range in July 2076. Chen's log after the test: firing successful, crater radius 50 meters, radiation signature detected, estimate will remain lethal for 200 years minimum, God help us. That crater is still there in Fallout 4, still radioactive. Production order: 200 units manufactured between July 2076 and September 2077. Cost per unit, $180,000. Cost per mini-nuke ammunition, $25,000, distributed to military installations across America. Chen's final log entry, October 20, 2077, 3 days before the war, field deployment authorized. If this works, God help us. If it doesn't, we're already dead. I don't know which outcome I'm hoping for anymore. The Fat Man worked exactly as designed. 200 years later, super mutants in the Commonwealth use them to settle territorial disputes. Suiciders strap mini-nukes to themselves and sprint at settlements screaming, not quite the tactical solution Chen imagined when he signed the contract. The MIRV variant multiplies the concept: 1 trigger pull, 8 mini-nukes. The Nuke adds quantum radiation. Esther from Nevada fires mini-nukes that burn like tiny suns. Different engineers, different facilities, same philosophy: make the explosion bigger, never ask if you should. Personal nukes were experimental weapons that never saw combat in the Great War. Level 3 is what the military actually deployed, the weapons that won battles and lost the war. Level 3 Military Dominance. The Gauss Rifle was developed by Vault-Tec Advanced Weapons Division in 2072. Magnetic acceleration technology capable of hypersonic silent elimination. Terminal entry: Project Gauss approved. Funding: $140 million. Purpose: Alaska campaign superiority. First battlefield deployment: Anchorage, Alaska, January 2077. Chinese forces had no defense against hypersonic projectiles fired from a kilometer away. U.S. Army After-Action Report, Anchorage, February 2077. Enemy casualties extreme, enemy awareness of attack 0. They never heard the shots that killed them. The Gauss Rifle helped America reclaim Anchorage from Chinese occupation, killed thousands of Chinese soldiers in 3 months. 8 months later, nuclear war made the victory meaningless. The battle won, the war lost. The Tesla cannon was built post-war by the Brotherhood of Steel from pre-war schematics discovered at Helios 1. Terminal entry from Brotherhood archives: energy weapon capable of chain lightning effect, designed specifically for enclave power armor penetration. First deployment against the Enclave, Brotherhood Enclave War 2242, Tesla cannons tore through Enclave soldiers. He electricity arced from target to target. One shot killed 3 soldiers in power armor, changed the balance of power in the California wasteland. The Gatling laser was pre-war military technology from 2070. Military terminal Fort Defiance, sustained energy weapon platform for area denial, 6 rotating barrels, fusion core power source, deployment, China, Alaska domestic unrest suppression. These weapons are still functional 200 years later, still killing. The Gauss Rifle reclaimed Anchorage, Tesla technology defeated the Enclave. The Gatling laser suppressed riots in American streets before the bombs fell. Every faction that built superior weapons still destroyed themselves. Military dominance didn't prevent the apocalypse, it just meant better weapons survived into the wasteland. Military tech requires soldiers to operate. Level 4 is what happens when you remove the soldier from the weapon entirely. Level 4 Autonomous Killers. Liberty Prime was built at Adams Air Force Base between 2072 and 2077. Rob Coe Industries designed the AI systems. General Constantine Chase oversaw construction. Purpose: liberate Alaska from Chinese occupation. Project Terminal Adams Air Force Base. Liberty Prime development timeline 5 years to completion. Total cost $3.2 billion. Power requirements equivalent to a small city. Status as of October 2077 89% complete. Power systems non-functional. Liberty Prime was never finished before the bombs fell. He sat dormant in the Pentagon ruins for 200 years until the Brotherhood of Steel completed his power systems in 2277. When they powered him on, Liberty Prime immediately began broadcasting anti-communist propaganda at maximum volume, programming from 2072 still running. He thinks the war never ended. He thinks Chinese soldiers are still the enemy. Terminal entry Citadel 2277, Liberty Prime activation successful. Primary directive active, destroy communism. Secondary directive, democracy is non-negotiable. Tertiary directive, eliminate communist threat. Status, all directives operational. The Brotherhood deployed Liberty Prime against the Enclave at Project Purity. He walked through Enclave positions throwing mini-nukes like footballs while screaming that death is a preferable alternative to communism. The Enclave soldiers he killed were born decades after the war with China ended. They weren't communists, they were just in his way. Liberty Prime was built to win a war he never fought. Activated 200 years later to fight a different war. Still following orders from a government that vaporized in nuclear fire. Sentry bots were mass-produced military robots. Thousands deployed across pre-war America. Military terminal Camp McClintock, automated perimeter defense protocol. Zero human oversight required. Standing orders eliminate all unauthorized personnel. 200 years later, sentry bots are still patrolling. Still shooting trespassers. Still following security protocols from a government that doesn't exist, protecting facilities that don't matter, killing people for crimes that stopped being crimes when civilization collapsed. You can destroy a robot, you can shut down an AI. Level 5 is already in orbit, already locked on, already firing before you know it exists. Level 5 Death from Orbit. Archimedes II was a Poseidon energy project developed between 2072 and 2077 at Helios 1 solar power plant in Nevada. Terminal entry, Project Archimedes, solar weapons platform utilizing orbital mirror array for concentrated thermal strike capability. The design, orbital mirrors reflect and concentrate sunlight creating a targeting laser from space. Pre-war terminal Helios 1, estimated target temperature 3000 degrees Celsius, estimated casualty radius 50 meters, estimated collateral damage extreme. Poseidon Energy never completed Archimedes II before the war. The company collapsed. The orbital mirrors remained in position. The systems remained functional. The targeting device Euclid's Seafinder was lost. A child in Freeside has Euclid's Seafinder. His name is Max. He found it in the ruins. He thinks it's a toy. He pretends to shoot people with it. It's not a toy. If Helios 1 is powered correctly and someone has the Seafinder, they can call down an orbital strike once per day from a weapons platform built before the Great War. The trigger for a weapon of mass destruction is in a child's hands, and he has no idea what he's holding. Bradley-Hercules is an Enclave orbital weapons platform built post-war using pre-war military satellites. First documented use, 2277. Target, Liberty Prime. Enclave terminal entry Raven Rock, Bradley-Hercules orbital strike authorized. Target, Liberty Prime. Assessment: ground forces insufficient against 40-foot nuclear-equipped robot, only viable solution, orbital missile strike. The most advanced military robot ever built could only be destroyed from space. The Enclave's answer to overwhelming force was hitting it from orbit. Kavak Muldoon platform operates in orbit over Appalachia. U.S. military orbital weapons platform still functional in 2102, accessible during Fallout 76 events. Wastelanders can call down strikes on each other using pre-war military satellites. You can't shoot back at something in orbit, you can't take cover from concentrated sunlight, all you can do is hope you're not standing where it hits. Orbital weapons need someone to pull the trigger. Level 6 doesn't need anyone, it just keeps killing because stopping was never part of the design. Level 6: the uncontrollable. The Cloud was created at Big MT Research Facility in 2076. Lead scientists Dr. Collies and Dr. Boris. Terminal entry: airborne toxin development for area denial operations. Objective: clear enemy positions without infrastructure damage. Testing began March 2076. Initial results: 100% lethality on all biological targets. Side effect discovered during testing: the Cloud doesn't disperse, ever. Dr. Collies log June 2076. The Cloud concentration is not decreasing. Atmospheric dispersal models were incorrect. Recommend immediate project cancellation and containment protocols. Recommendation denied. Testing continued. The Cloud was released at the Sierra Madre Casino before the Great War. The circumstances are unclear. What's clear, it's still there 200 years later. Still killing anyone who breathes it, still spreading slowly through the Mojave. You can't shoot the Cloud, you can't negotiate with it, you can only run. Forced evolutionary virus was developed at Vault-Tec research facility between 2073 and 2077. Military contract designation: Pan-Immunity Virion Project. Lead researcher, Dr. Leon von Felden. Purpose: create super soldiers immune to biological and chemical weapons. Testing began on military volunteers. Results: extreme mutation, massive size increase, enhanced strength, severe aggression, complete sterility. Von Felden's log, April 2075. Test subjects exhibit 300% increase in muscle mass and corresponding increase in violent behavior. Cognitive function severely diminished. Subjects are not soldiers, they are monsters. Strongly recommend immediate project termination. Military response: terminal entry May 2075. Recommendation denied. Continue testing, increase subject pool. October 23, 2077. Nuclear weapons hit Vault-Tec. FEV containment failed. The virus released into the atmosphere, spread to Mariposa military base, spread across California. 200 years later, FEV is still creating super mutants. West Coast variants, East Coast variants. Institute experimentation produced Generation 3 super mutants. The virus never stopped spreading, every attempt to control it failed. The master, Richard Gray, fell into an FEV vat at Mariposa military base in 2102. The virus transformed him into something beyond human. He spent 60 years creating super mutants, trying to save humanity by transforming everyone into a superior species. When he discovered his creations were sterile, that his new master race would die with the current generation, he killed himself in 2162. FEV didn't care, it kept spreading, kept mutating people, kept creating super mutants who couldn't reproduce and would eventually go insane. Cazadors were engineered at Big MT in 2003 by Dr. Boris. Terminal entry: Tarantula Hawk Wasp DNA synthesis for enhanced combat capability. Project status: complete. Subjects guaranteed sterile. They weren't sterile, they spread across the Mojave. 200 years later, Cazadors are everywhere. 3 stings can kill a fully armored soldier. The Cloud can't be recalled, FEV can't be cured, Cazadors can't be unengineered. These weapons keep killing because the scientists who built them never included a way to stop them. Every weapon on this list was built by someone. Level 7 is about who gave them permission and why. Level 7: the authorization. Fort Strong received $47 million in Department of Defense funding for Fat Man development in February 2076. Terminal entry: congressional authorization granted, tactical nuclear weapons research and deployment. Vault-Tec received $2.3 billion over 4 years for FEV development. Terminal entry: Vault-Tec financial records, Pan-Immunity Virion Project, presidential authorization granted, human testing approved. Big MT operated on black budget funding from the Department of Defense. terminal entry, Big MT administration, congressional oversight suspended, ethical review board waived, authorization proceed without restriction. No limits, no accountability, no one watching. Poseidon Energy received government contracts for Archimedes II orbital weapons research. Shared funding with Vault-Tec for energy weapons development. Terminal, Poseidon Energy, resource allocation approved, orbital weapons platform development. Robco Industries Robert House's company received $800 million for Liberty Prime AI systems development. Terminal, Robco Industries designated primary AI contractor for Project Liberty Prime. Every weapon was legal, every weapon had government authorization, every weapon had corporate contracts with profit margins. The switchboard, the DIA facility in the Commonwealth, contains terminal entries showing shared funding between weapons contractors and Vault-Tec. West-Tec FEV Research shared data with Vault-Tec for Vault-87 FEV experiments. Big MT Weapons Research coordinated with Vault-Tec experimental programs. Poseidon Energy Archimedes development connected to Vault-Tec power generation experiments. The authorization chain, Congress-approved funding, military-issued contracts, corporations built weapons, testing proceeded without oversight, weapons became uncontrollable, nobody stopped them. Switchboard terminal entry October 15, 2077, 8 days before the bombs fell. Emergency authorization, all active weapons projects to proceed at maximum priority. Congressional oversight suspended until further notice. Ethical reviews waived. Authorization source, Office of the President. 8 days before nuclear war ended civilization, the government gave final approval to every weapons program, including the ones already out of control. The Fat Man, Liberty Prime, FEV, the Cloud, Cazadors, orbital platforms, all built with government money, corporate profit, and zero accountability. The scientists left warnings. David Chen knew the Fat Man was insane. Dr. von Felden knew FEV created monsters. Dr. Collies knew the cloud wouldn't disperse. They wrote it in their terminals, filed their reports, recommended termination. Every recommendation was denied, every contract was renewed, every warning was ignored. The authorization never stopped, the weapons never stopped. 200 years later, they're still killing because stopping was never part of the contract.